Welcome everybody. This is How to English, Teach and Learn with Gav and Em.
It's a podcast about teaching and learning English as a foreign language.
All opinions stated are personal and references will be given where necessary.
It's finally here, Gav.
It has arrived. I've been waiting all year for this episode.
I am so happy that we're doing this.
So am I. And it's all lined up. So all we need to do is listen and enjoy teachers' and learners' tips.
So this is months of people sending us tips and we've been collecting them and now we are going to listen and enjoy.
We are. In fact, we could just sit back and enjoy it, really. Do we need to comment on them?
Do we need to comment on the comment? Let's just be natural and do what comes naturally, yeah?
So we're just going to listen to them.
Which is what I said.
Okay. Shall we start?
Yes.
All of the teachers and learners who have sent their recordings to us will be mentioned in the show notes.
Right, okay.
So if you like the tips, then go straight to the show notes, click on them. You can go straight to their Instagram
account. Have they consented to this, Gav?
I don't know, actually.
I'm not sure that's okay, but...
Well, I don't mean write to them personally, but you can find...
Oh, okay, their Instagram handle. Yeah, okay, good.
Let's begin.
Yay!
Okay, so the first one is from Fatima at S01E49. Here we go.
Hello everyone, I am an English teacher. It's my great pleasure to say about my tips in teaching English. Thank you so much for your invitation. First of all, I keep my teaching simple to beginners. I always check learners to see they understand materials or not. I help learners to discover materials by themselves, so most of my classes are learner-centered, so they enjoy learning English. We have lots of fun in our classes. I encourage them to participate in class and I always want learners to express their opinions freely. We have group work, pair work, storytelling, role play, and discussion in our classes. Feedback is very important, so every session I provide immediate feedback. I facilitate expression of attitudes and feelings in the class. And at the end, I would love to thank you for listening.
Thank you, Fatima. Great tips.
That was wonderful. I love the idea of participation, loads of feedback.
Keep it simple, learner-centered.
Oh, I like that.
Absolutely agree with that.
That's brilliant. Okay, let's move on to the next one from Hassan at English Arthas. Here we go.
As an English learner to my fellow English learners, in my opinion, one of the best things you should do is to be consistent. You can't learn English overnight. It takes time. And if you're not in the mood, you can improve your English by doing things you like. For example, playing video games or watching films. You can learn new words or phrases while doing those. And as a tip for English teachers, I think one of the first things you should do is to help your students understand that you are a guide and you are there to show them the way. But then they should go and spend time to improve their English. You can't do it for them, and that they can't magically learn English by simply being in your class.
That was fabulous. So that was the point of view from both a learner and a teacher.
Consistency is very important. And do things you like. We've said it ourselves many times.
Yeah, it's very true. I love the idea of encouraging your students, but support them to learn on their own. So it's not just about being in the classroom, it's about what they can do in their free time as well.
He said, be a guide.
That was it. Brilliant.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
Thank you, Hassan. And the next one is Casimir, who's at maxi.cot. Here we go.
Hi guys, Casimir speaking. So 2 tips you're asking for when it comes to teaching. The first one would be, remember that lessons are all about communication, especially in one-on-one meetings that I have been doing for the past 8 years. Have a specific goal of a lesson, but a general overview of it. It may change. A student may have a bad day, so from a grammar-oriented meeting, it can go to conversation about a normal life topic. So just be ready for such flexibility and be a human being. The second tip would be good to yourself. Then you will be good to others. A tired teacher is an ineffective one. So delve into your hobbies, interests, something as simple as watching your favorite shows, playing on your console, or just take time off, even 2 weeks if you need such reset. It's super important. Okay, thank you so much. Take care.
Excellent. I'm going to do exactly that, and I'm going to take a holiday for 2 weeks. I really liked what he said about being flexible. Looking after yourself as well is really important.
That was a great tip. Thanks, Casimir. Self-care, that's really, really important. Do you remember which episode that was?
Me? No.
28, Em. Okay, some really good tips back in that, so go and check that out.
Yeah.
I also think that's really important to remember. If you're having a bad day, if the student's having a bad day, if you're just not in the right mood, find something else that you want to teach and learn. Something like hobbies, holidays, whatever will be more enjoyable.
Or just don't even teach it. Just step away. I think that was the point. Step away from that. Don't think about teaching. Do something totally different to take your mind off of it.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Next, Em, is Helen. Are you going to read Helen's?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Here's Helen from possibly my favourite Instagram handle. It's 6 Afraid of 7, because 789.
Oh, I love that joke. Great. So this one is a written one. So Helen says, that's very small on your computer screen.
Make it
I will
bigger.
make it a bit bigger. Okay, so dear Gav and Em, kindly find some of my teaching and learning tips. The point is that one should be a good learner to be a good teacher. Sound knowledge that both learners and students aim for can be acquired provided that we are motivated, consistent and hardworking. Motivation can be maintained, which one can ask and answer the question, what is it for? And being consistent is sometimes what we all try to master while learning and teaching. It's all clear and simple with being hardworking, but most of seemingly simple things turn out to be difficult. So my tips on motivation: it's great when the answer to the question, what is it for, is I just enjoy it. Keep maintaining this joy. Your enthusiasm will definitely provoke students' enthusiasm. Believe in your creativity and in your students' creativity. Creativity and joy mostly belong to inspiration, and there are very few teachers or no experienced teachers who believe in inexhaustive inspiration. But all of us would agree that we should do something consistently and not just when we feel. Just keep doing something for learning or teaching and praise yourself for being hardworking. Don't get down on yourself. Just be your own good teacher for your own diligent student. We will always combine two of them.
Wow. Okay, thank you so much, Helen. I love the idea of motivation. What is the motivation? Why are you working so hard to achieve this goal in life?
What is it for? That is a very good point, isn't it?
Exactly. Find pleasure in the work you do.
Definitely, yeah. Great one, Helen. Thank you.
That's the inspiration. That's the motivation we're all looking for. So next, we have Lisa at Ace English Online. Let's have a listen to Lisa.
Hey, my tip for learning English is to set goals. First, set yourself a big goal, where you want to get to. And I don't mean something like learn English. This is too ambiguous and it doesn't help you to make progress. So an example of a big goal could be speak English more fluently in 6 months. Secondly, break your big goal down into smaller weekly goals that will help you achieve this big goal. So, for example, you might want to expand your vocabulary. A small goal could be learn 5 new phrasal verbs and use them. Or practice the pronunciation of a sound which you have difficulty with. Don't forget to make sure that you write your goals down. Big and bright post-its are a good idea, and put them somewhere that you will see them regularly and it will remind you to do them. And finally, when you achieve your goals, don't forget to congratulate yourself. You're one step closer to that big goal.
Thank you, Lisa. Wonderful tips. I love, big goals, specific goals, breaking down those goals as well. And remind yourself of those goals along the way. Love the whole thing, just how structured the tip was, because then reward yourself at the end or praise yourself. But I think also reward yourself. Why not? Give yourself a nice, I don't know, holiday or something like that.
A bar of chocolate, maybe.
Well, I'm thinking holiday because then you can practice your language or you can just eat the chocolate and enjoy that. But yeah.
As Lisa said, break it down, write it down, post it up, and then it will be around you, and then just keep changing those post-its for the goal you want each week. I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay.
Good to visualise it.
Here is Nemanja at English Like a Non-Native. Here we go.
As a teacher, you should never stop working on the language you're supposed to teach, even if you teach your first language, because we are changing all the time, and so is language, right? If you're a language student, you must keep in mind that learning out of lessons is crucial. You need to learn in your spare time. You need to find someone whom you will talk with by using a new language. Something such as perfect language doesn't exist, right? Or at least, I think so. Yes, English is not your first language, but you should stop being shy. You need to use what you already know in order to extend your knowledge. So I hope you find this useful, and happy teaching and happy learning.
Thank you, Nemanja. That was really useful. I totally forgot that teachers need to continue learning. Of course, that's so key. Whether it's reading, watching, listening to stuff, just keep improving your language. I do it every day and I love it. I love reading. I love watching TV programs and films and podcasts and music, everything that keeps my English up to date and reminds me of expressions and words that I forget to use from time to time. So this is great.
Yeah, or if you don't even know them because they're new. I just love how different they all are. These tips are amazing and they're not things that I always think about. So yeah, they're great. I love them. Don't be shy. Totally agree with that. Just try it out and see what happens and be confident. Absolutely.
Definitely. Em, would you like to hear what Nika at Do Secreto de Inglés has to say?
That was a good try at the pronunciation. Of course I would like to know.
Hey there, this is Nika from Dose Certa de Inglês. And my English study tip is about phonics. So they say that English isn't pronounced how it's written, but I think that's not exactly true. There's actually a secret that makes English easier to read and pronounce. And I'll give you an example. My son, who's 7, reads English fluently, and he never had an English lesson in his life. The secret to that is phonics. Phonics is a set of rules for how to pronounce specific combinations of letters. Think babe, bibo, boo from Portuguese classes, but of course with English-specific details. And just like babe, bibo, boo, phonics rules don't really change much. So if you learn phonics, even as an adult, you can get fluent faster.
Oh my God, ba bee ba boo. I just want to Google that now. Okay. Secrets of phonics.
I think you've just learnt some Portuguese, Em.
I love that. Absolutely love that. So I'm intrigued. I'm interested. I'm going to look that up.
I love these secret tips. So I don't focus on phonics, but I know it's really, really useful, especially for lower learner students, but you can use that at all levels. There are these little secret tips in English. When you see an E at the end, for example, you know it's going to affect the other vowel that's one place back between the consonant. Mm-hmm. This is a terrible description.
Do you want to try again?
Like, for example, C-O-N is pronounced
con.
But if I put an E on the end, you say
cone.
So the O has transformed. Now, this happens quite a lot in English, but we don't often teach these things. But there's loads of tips.
And then if you add another consonant, like phonetics and phone, you see?
I like it.
I mean, phonetics goes back to the phon sound rather than the phone sound.
That's really true.
It's really interesting.
Okay.
So I agree.
Thanks,
Definitely.
Nika.
Definitely,
okay.
Nika.
Next with Paris from Learn English with Paris. Let's listen.
Hi, this is Paris from Learn English with Paris. Thank you, Gav and Em, for inviting me to share some of my teaching and learning tips in my first podcast ever. What I'll be saying here is not something new. It's just a tried and true formula that has worked for me as a non-native speaker, so it will definitely work for you too. Your goal and determination can play a significant role in your learning process. Find a good reason to start learning English, more than it is in fashion to do so or that you are forced to do it because of your job or people around you. Believe me, it doesn't work that way. You need to be highly motivated and passionate, and only then will the learning process go smoothly. The second tip is to think English. We are thinking constantly, usually in our first language. Now, why not translate our thoughts into English? If there are words you don't know, look them up. This way, you can practice speaking and learning new words at the same time, like killing two birds with one stone. Finding a partner to practice English with is not that difficult nowadays with the presence of different social media and apps. Try to find someone whose English is a little better than yours, otherwise you'll be their corrector all the time, and sometimes their bad English may influence yours. And finally, be patient when learning a new language. It is a process which doesn't happen overnight. It has never happened to anyone like this, neither will it to you, unless you have some kind of magic. So, don't look for any shortcuts. Learning a language is like a trip that never ends. The more you learn, the more you realize you need to learn. Good luck with your long journey, and know that you are not alone.
Yes, Paris, yes. I agree. Determination, have a reason. It's so important, and it's not like a magic pill. As we've discussed, Gav, in the past, some of these students come and they think you're going to just give them this magic potion or magic pill. And it's impossible. You have to have patience. There are no shortcuts. I totally agree with Paris on that.
Definitely not going to happen overnight. And yes, talking from experience. So it's really good that we've got teachers telling us how they achieved this amazing level of English. It isn't for their job. It isn't just a trend or a fashion to speak English. It's something that you need to really want and be passionate about, and that's how you will move forward. I love the idea of translating your thoughts. I think we mentioned before in a previous episode, sit down, think about all the words and expressions you need to use in English, whether it's at work, at home, with your friends.
Yeah.
Write them all down in your own language, translate them all into English, and you'll realise there's some key words that you're missing. It's a really good tip. Thank you, Paris.
Excellent.
Now we've got Patricia Demier with her learning tip.
Hi, I'm Patricia Demier, and a tip that I always recommend to my students is to read and listen to a book in English at the same time. This technique directly helps to improve reading and listening skills and indirectly your speaking skills. By reading and listening simultaneously, you check the spelling and pronunciation of the words and also the sentence's intonation. Moreover, it helps you to focus more and avoid distractions, which can help you to start and finish a book in a few days. There are several free audiobooks in English online, so give it a chance and enjoy this fun and effective way of learning and practicing English.
Thank you, Patricia. That was a really good tip. I think I say the same thing that you said about audiobooks and real books at the same time, simultaneously. I also say to students, it's okay to watch TV with the subtitles. It will help you, even if you're maybe focusing more on the words, you're still getting those tips, those pronunciation, the sounds, the intonation, really effective. I agree.
Yeah, and the book you like. And yeah, as Patricia mentioned, there's so many available online, different levels. Excellent idea.
And now we've got Tung Ning.
Listening is a fine art, and if you fathom this, it will give you enormous power to perceive how a sentence can be framed or spoken. So, listen to as much spoken English as you can. You don't have to listen closely. For example, while you are listening, you can just walk around, enjoy the sights, do the dishes, read a book, work out at the gym, do your homework, write an essay, or do your daily job. Come high or hell water, as long as the sounds of English are entering your ears and your brain, You'll learn more English than you realize. It's evidently a more natural way to learn because when we listen to the language, we hear the patterns.
Thank you, Tung. That was wonderful. I think you're right. It's definitely an unappreciated skill, listening. And you don't have to just sit down and really focus on it. I agree. Just in the sort of background, it will help.
I always say just surround yourself wherever you are. If you can listen to something or if you can just watch something, take a little break when you're traveling somewhere. If you're on the train or the bus or the tram, just put something on, surround yourself with English so it's always going in. You're constantly absorbing it, even if it's just passive learning.
And if you're living in a country where there are English speakers, then just listen to people's conversations. It's so fun.
I love doing that. Sit behind some people on the bus and just listen to them nattering away. Thanks, Tung. Now we've got Svetlana at AdSvets English.
Hello, listeners of How to English Pod. AdSvets English here. A language learning tip that I would suggest to the listeners of this podcast is the diversification of learning activities and approaches. Let me explain what I mean. When we learn a foreign language using only a limited selection of activities, our learning processes become boring, repetitive, and may even lose their effectiveness. Even when you think that you have found that right and most fun way to learn, say through entertaining Instagram posts or YouTube videos, you still may be jeopardizing your progress making. Let me give you a good example. If you love candy and eat it every day, at first you seem to enjoy indulging yourself into devouring this flavorful, sweet yumminess. But as you do more and more of it, you start noticing that the flavorfulness starts to fade. The candy doesn't taste as good as it used to and may even seem bland, all because your taste buds get used to the same food intake. Just like that, your brain cells lose their plasticity and acuteness of perception when you do or practice the same kind of activities when learning English. The secret to many things in life in general and to learning a foreign or second language in particular is in balance and diversification. So here's my advice. Try different things, alternate your practice activities, watch content from speakers with different accents to train your ear to comprehend different varieties of the language, read different genres of text, magazine and journal articles, casual posts on Instagram or on topical forums, shift from fiction to nonfiction when reading books. In your speaking practices, discuss everyday matters, professional field-related topics, and abstract philosophical constructs. When writing, keep up diaries, lead business correspondence with your colleagues in English. Try your hand at writing a creative essay and keep those things in balance.
Wow, that was amazing. So don't lose that yumminess. Don't make that yumminess bland. Absolutely. Keep it elastic.
Yeah, keep that variety. There's such a range of English learning materials, or just find your own stuff. Or as Svetlana said, keep a diary. Be creative, write an essay. Just sit down and think, what are my opinions on the environment? And see if you can construct it in a very logical way.
That's pretty much life advice rather than just language advice there.
There's a lot of life advice there. It's amazing. And that's a really good tip about English. It's a really diverse and rich language. Don't focus only on one accent. There are so many accents out there. Pick and choose as much. Get a variety. I love it.
Yeah. Who's next, Gav?
Now we've got Fabulous Fabes.
Hello, How to English Pod community. I'm Fabian Bedoya from South America. Know me also as Fabulous Fabes on Instagram and YouTube. Today I propose that you keep a diary where you write down about the little things that happen to you at lunch, breakfast time, even shower. Nothing epic, keep it simple. But don't stop there. Read out each diary entry and record yourself. Even better if you do it on video. But don't stop there either. Listen to yourself or watch yourself carefully. Again, don't stop there. Be critical of how you sound. Stress, rhythm, intonation, linking, volume of voice, pause, facial expression, gesture. Every time, try to sound smoother, more connected, persuasive, and intelligent. And if you need help with your vocabulary, use DEEPL, D-E-E-P-L. And if you want to keep your videos in a library where you can get feedback from friends and teachers, use Flipgrid, F-L-I-P-G-R-I-D. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you, Fabes. I agree with it. Diversity, fluency, lots of aspects, not just your voice, but gestures as well. It will all help.
And Flipgrid I've never heard of, so I'm going to find them online and check them out.
There's just so much we don't know, Gav. It's wonderful. Well, I mean...
I'm learning so much.
Yeah, I just feel, wow, I've just got so much to think about now.
And I loved all of those tips about pronunciation, intonation, gaps, pauses, even your facial expression, of course. Because sometimes I talk to my students, it's like talking to a brick wall. So it's so key that you show the other person that you're listening, and all the body language is really important.
And there are some books with that skill. Like there's a really good page in Business Builder resources.
That's right. Now, Olga at Teach, Love, Earn.
I recently had a talk with my colleague from Turkey, and he asked me what my motto is. And a wonderful saying by William Arthur Ward came to my mind. He said, "The mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, and the great teacher inspires." This is the rule I try to follow myself. But not only teachers inspire their students. Teachers need inspiration too. My other favorite quotes to inspire you, dear colleagues, if you're a young teacher: the fact that you worry about being a good teacher means that you already are one. If you're an experienced teacher, I like this quote: "I'm not saying I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will." If you're a student, this is the one for you by Walt Disney. If you can dream it, you can do it. Well, the best tip I can say, dear teachers, believe in your students. Dear students, trust your teachers.
Thank you, Olga. That was inspiring. I love these quotations. They make me just want to get out there and teach. And also for you students, it's so true. It's so motivating to hear these inspirational quotes. Dream it, do it.
That made me quite emotional, actually, that one. I've not always liked quotes so much, but those ones are really, really nice. And to be an inspiration, I think I've not really looked at it like that before. And it's true. I think you can do all the, textbook stuff, but you have to have that spark. And I think that that's exactly right, Olga. Thank you.
Now we've got a top tip from tutors.toptips, and I'm going to read out their tips. Review work covered, ask open and closed questions, encourage the pupils to explain the work covered, discuss motivation, discuss goals, discuss time management, and share study tips. A bit like what we're doing today. We hope we've got some learners listening as well as teachers.
Yeah, I agree. Those are like golden rules.
Yeah. And finally, self-evaluation. Encourage this.
Yeah, don't just take it all from the teacher. You've got to make your students understand that, definitely.
Mm-hmm. And finally, Em, I know you're really sad to hear that this is the final top tip.
Well, it's the final top tip of the first episode of a two-part episode of Top Tips. So I'm not that sad. I'll be sadder next week.
I haven't mentioned that it's a two-parter.
I've let the cat out of the bag now, haven't I? I think we have mentioned a few times that we've got so many tips that we're going to have to split it into two. So it's no surprise. But,
it's no surprise.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sad to stop for the day. So who's the last one?
Yeah, this will be the final one of the week. So finally, we've got Patrick T. Randolph, who is going to give us his top tip.
Hello there, Gav and Em. This is Patrick T. Randolph from the States. Thanks for inviting my voice and I to your wonderful show. For me, one of the most overlooked but extremely effective teaching tools is to do physical exercise before and during class. Here's why. Just a couple of minutes of exercise will make more blood flow to the brain, which in turn means more oxygen to the brain, which also means that really important neurotransmitters like acetylcholine, dopamine, epinephrine, norepinephrine, serotonin, and proteins like BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, will be released and help with our students' attention, memory, and learning. So, what better way to help students pay attention and do it with gusto than the sweet and simple tool of physical exercise? For an example of what I do, you can check out my YouTube channel and watch me in action, or create your own. Any fun exercise will do, jumping jacks, run in place, or a funky 2-minute dance. So, there you have it. Physical exercise each day keeps the brain in play. Thanks!
Oh, wow. Thank you, Patrick. And thank you for all your encouragement and feedback. We appreciate that. So great tip. We've seen your YouTube channel. We love it. And I agree with you. Just move around, get the blood flowing, try and wake yourself up ready for learning.
I
Great
love
tip.
the idea of just watching Patrick and his students dancing around before the lesson just to get that energy going, get the blood going. And that was a very scientific way of explaining how to learn English.
There's just so many aspects to this. I love it. I love people. They're all amazing. They're just so different.
Yeah, we've had a real variety. And don't forget, Em, all of these teachers and learners are available on Instagram. Their handles will be in the show notes.
So don't forget to tune in next week if you want some more tips from our wonderful listeners. And
Is it tune in?
I don't know. What do you do?
Well,
the wireless, you tune in, don't you? On the radio.
That's true.
So what do you do on a podcast?
Pod in?
Pod in next week.
No, but we're podding.
We are podding, but you can pod in.
Okay, and not only listen, but also read. As you know, Em, all of the episodes since episode 40 have been transcribed.
By your own fair hand.
They have.
Word by word.
And with a little bit of help from Descript.
But it's an amazing resource. So as a lot of people have recommended, you can listen and read if you need that support. Excellent to have that on our pod.
That's it. I'm going to see you, Em, next week for some more Teachers and Learners Top Tips 2.
See you then.
See ya.
Bye-bye.